Pisces, Pisces, how are you, love? Okay, let's do your reading for the week. I know that I'm super late, and I said this to Capricorn and Aquarius as well. Wherever you find yourself on the timeline listening to this is perhaps exactly when you need to hear it. Your weeklies will be up soon too for this week. Boundaries with self, with others, always. That's your theme for this week, okay? I also want to say, when I look at this card, that's about exploring vistas outside of where I am. You could be doing this on a higher consciousness level. You could be doing this, I mean, you know, not many of us are traveling. But when we are home, when we are in lockdown, essentially speaking, we are also in review mode about so many different routines and stuff and ways of doing things that we've always just done just because that's just how it was done. And now that we've had all this time to review and think about things, we're perhaps wanting some restructure too on very practical levels. I feel like I'm speaking to Pisces that are ultimately connecting into their soul family, because when we go outside of the boundaries that we keep up between us and the world and journey forth and connect to those who resonate, you're wanting to feel like you want to connect with them, is what I also sense, Pisces. You want out. And practically speaking, so many of us are confined, locked down. We're wanting out, yeah? The upcoming new moon's going to be significant. And it's like an invitation. You will feel this pulling you out of your routine, out of... You're feeling stuck where you are. Home, routine, whatever the case may be, you're wanting to explore. You're going to be feeling that under the new moon. You're going to be inspired to explore vistas outside of where you are, consciously, mentally, physically, wanting to connect to other souls. Yeah, I feel this is more exploration rather than needing to put down boundaries, hey? Even though it's not the exploration card, I'm feeling like I need to get out. Oh my God, I need to say this. Look, and I've never really paid attention before. I want to say, and this is going to be significant for a Pisces listening, be mindful that you don't sort of overreact or do something that is a lot more difficult than it needs to be. You go down a path, a decision, a process that is a lot more difficult than it needs to be when there's an easier option. I just want to say that. There's a door there, yeah? Don't be doing something too risky. Let's see what the cards say. But maybe it is. Maybe there's this need and desire to bust out. And that's fair enough. But sometimes we have to do it safely, securely, practically. And we can do, because the opportunity to do so is right there. Okay, Pisces, let's take a look, Dylan. I feel like you're also being told to be careful by someone else, someone that's guiding you, someone that's a voice in your ear. You shouldn't do that. That's not going to work. But I do want to say, yes, it will. It will, but that my earlier heed was about there's a practical way to do it, okay? Because things are changing. Okay. Has your energy shifted? Yes, a little bit. There's something you don't want to carry anymore. And it's making you feel conflicted. You want a new beginning. You're willing to experience loss in order to come home to yourself. That's a key message. All right, listen, let's get to the nitty-gritty. You're willing to work on something, but there's something you are not letting go of. I actually feel like you haven't quite seen it from a higher view yet. So see how he hasn't quite ventured out yet. And maybe you can't. Because the hangman is underneath all of this. The hangman is underneath all of this, Pisces. And there's an invitation here to see your situation from another way. So that message applies to what I said earlier about there's a practical way of doing things, okay? That little door. You don't have to... But it's not until you get out there, take the risk, do that, that you will know what I'm talking about. Because you're wanting to work on something, but there's also something here you're not letting go, and I think it's actually getting in the way of you experiencing this. Now, I can look at this as financial abundance, but this is progress. This is genuine progress for your efforts, and you can apply that practically with finances. You can apply that with your path, your growth, your journey, anything. There is something you are not willing to let go. That could be a belief, that could be a fear, that could be listening to someone else. Yeah. That could be a simple belief that to truly get over and out of this, I need to go this one way, but there's another way, is what I want to say. What crowns you, and look, this could be motivating. What crowns you is the Seven of Swords, and I won't lie, this is at the most gentle, it is strategy. I'm being strategic, and I'm not telling anyone because I don't want to be told what not to do. I feel like I'm talking to Pisces that are strategically making decisions, strategically taking what they can that will benefit them. Because if you have a look in the background of the Seven of Swords, in the far, far background, okay, it's a community, it is a family, it is a community of, it's a village, you know, like you can look at them as gypsies, you can look at it as some sort of circus or carnival, whatever the case may be, but those tents are tribes. So whoever your tribe is what I feel drawn to say. If you look even further, see the shadow, the silhouettes? These people don't know what have been taken from them. So I do want to say, Pisces, I think you're doing this because this drive to get out, to get away, is a lot bigger. Than your desire to stay, because you feel there's no growth here, there is no learning here, but I feel like you can't necessarily tell people your plans because it may literally affect finances, it may affect the flow of things. So I do want to encourage you to ground and go deeper and see things from an even higher view, though, outside of fear, because that's what's fueling you at the moment. Okay? You are influenced by commitment that could potentially be toxic, a commitment to a belief, a lifestyle that makes us feel tired. I feel suffocated. I want out, which is what that is. Codependency, toxic connections, behaviors. Maybe you want out of friendship groups that feel like that. Where did that go? Yeah, that's a community. Maybe you are taking only what is of value to you because you know that it's toxic. You are taking only what's of value to you, Pisces. Because there's change here. Now listen, there's change. Underneath all this is a burden you've been carrying. So whatever that is, okay, it feels like this. It feels too heavy. The responsibility, the routine, these connections are too heavy for me. It feels toxic. I want change. I want out. I want stuff to shift. I want out. I want out. I want out because I'm willing to work on something here. I'm willing to risk losing half of that in order to start here too. I'm willing to go from that to this because it's toxic, it's not good for me. I want to encourage you to wait 4 days. Now, from the moment you hear this message, it might even span as high as 7 weeks. This could be a 7-year story. There's something about the next 3 to 4 days. I'm not going to lie. It's not emotional for you. You're taking what you need. You're taking what you need and being strategic about that. You're also willing to lose half of what you've got, or to drop down in value in some way, in order for this free feeling. Because I feel like it feels too restrictive, feels like this. And I'm even going to say, when these two show up together, this is my narcissistic card. This is a deep connection, okay? On its own, with beautiful cards. The Devil card is a soul contract. You know, but it is with those soul contracts, sometimes we have to integrate and learn about our shadow elements and aspects. When it's surrounded by difficult cards, we are definitely balancing, healing, trying to free ourselves from what feels like shadow. Now, we cannot run from ourselves, Pisces, is what I want to say. We cannot run from the wisdom that's trying to permeate. There is change here. And there is an awakening of some sort underneath all of this, okay? So there is a greater lesson. And I just want to say, I think the way you currently feel like you need to address this is perhaps not the right way. Wait 3 or 4 days, because there's something that's going to be a lot easier for your ability to still get what you want, without the difficulty of people going, don't do it that way, or having conflict, or people chase after you in your desire to seek freedom. I want to tell you to wait 3 or 4 days, because there's an easier way that hasn't yet come into your awareness, because I think you're still down here. You're still feeling suffocated, restricted, tied. There's a gift, an offer coming that will be able, it's almost like this is the dude that says, oi, there's a door. And I'm using so many metaphors, because this week for you, the greatest thing you can gain is mental clarity. Strong mental clarity, which if you're not in that headspace, there are no cups on the table, love. You're not even embracing the essence of who you are. The strongest gift you can gain this week is mental clarity. And if you're not in that headspace, because it feels like this, and it feels like I have to do this, and it feels like I'm feeling suffocated and want out, you're not quite there yet, okay? And it's not that you won't ever be, it's just that you need to wait it out a few days, because something lands in your lap that is a gift, so that you can have your new beginning in this connection, in your life, in this relationship, in this experience, whatever the case may be. I keep hearing it's not time yet, okay? It's not quite time yet to have that key conversation, to make that drastic move out of heightened emotion. It is not quite time yet, Pisces, and I do want you to review, because I feel like this is you not wanting to let go of something, like it's you wanting to have a conversation just so to release, you know, or I don't know, actually. Because something shifts in 3 to 4 days. There's conflict about a new beginning. There will be a sense of loss and a walking away, yes. But you get to come home to yourself. This is an awakening card. It's an 1111 card. This is a level up, an awakening. You're moving and shifting and integrating some lessons here when it comes to shadow aspects, dynamics and connections. False beliefs, fears around what it is that we need to commit to, how we commit, how we connect, what we feel tied to in any form. Because what you're deeply wanting is equal reciprocity, which you're not experiencing. Because when we feel like we have to be strategic and just take what's ours, if we feel like we have to actually get out, if we feel completely tired and suffocated, it doesn't feel equal, yeah? This is the balance of karma. That's the scales, that's the balance of karma. That's what you're wanting. You're wanting, it's guaranteed that karma is balancing here, so that you can genuinely feel optimistic. Okay? I feel like I'm even speaking to a Pisces that's concerned about, wow. not having passion for their life, too much passion that has led to strategic and toxic connections, whether that applies to you or another. But this is also activating the divine fire within, that enthusiasm to journey and connecting to those that resonate, because this doesn't feel like I resonate when I'm seeing this all together. I want out. I want out. Something has been lost. I want a new beginning, with or without connection, friendship, acquaintances, workplace, whatever the case may be, marriage. I see that I'm speaking to some Pisces that are perhaps going through some oppressive energies. However, I do want to say stuff shifts and stuff will shift, and that's what like 3 to 4 days is relevant. There's a new way of looking at this situation, challenge, experience. There is an offer that will be made. There is something tangible that can be gained from this. And it's actually, like, I think if you're going to be focusing on what you can take, I think you don't even need half of it, is what I want to say. I'm dealing with, I'm talking to a Pisces that's dealing with wanting change from this. They're wanting change from this, because that's what's making you feel like you need out. But look, I just want to say, when you do bust out, if you look in the background, everyone lives like that. On some level, we have to be confined. We have to decide what our home is, what our hearth is, who we're going to share our life with. If I'm leaving to go find another workplace, it is the same there too. Wherever we go, there we are. Wherever we go, there we are. We take ourselves with us. So it's important to integrate shadow stuff here. You might have this around you, and you might be experiencing it in one of your significant connections, and you need to provide mental clarity, or assist that individual with the mental clarity to be able to start a new beginning. Free of old beliefs, old, you know, the only thing that's making me feel stuck in there is my perception. The only thing that's making me feel like I have to do something drastic to get the hell out of there is me. Because you're not quite singing something here. You know, there's a way out, which is actually a two-way door to go in and out. So freedom is a perception of the mind, yeah. You chose to be here for a reason, for what you're learning, what you're integrating, to bring you this higher knowing and to be able to start new beginnings. I feel like I'm going to be speaking to a Pisces that will be fundamentally integrating wisdoms around loss, wisdoms around emotional mastery, and a resurrection of an old path, an old version of yourself that you've suppressed in the coming weeks. This is what I'm feeling. Because there's something you're not quite letting go here. And once you do, you naturally won't attract friendships, relationships, connections that feel like this. Workplaces, you won't feel suffocated. There's a deeper wisdom here. You're awakening to something, an element of yourself. And there's a promise of new beginnings. Okay, I'm going to leave it there. Your monthly will be up at some point too. I'm smashing those out today. So, and your weekly will be out shortly as well. Make sure you like, subscribe, and comment. So how I'm doing the weeklies now is the most zodiac. The zodiacs that have had the most views, interactions, will be the ones that get uploaded first. So I'm not kicking off at Aries, and you won't always be last, okay? All right, Pisces, I hope this finds you well. Enjoy.